Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's match review, of course, of Newcastle United 1, Arsenal 0 at St James's Park yesterday. A fantastic 3 points for the Toon, of course. My name is Paul. I'm joined by Alex and, of course, Billy Bob. Sam is still a little bit under the weather, but she is in the chat. She will be back on our screens tomorrow, hopefully fight and fit again. But if you do enjoy the show, hit that thumbs up button for us, guys. And, of course, if you're new, come and subscribe to this brilliant community that we've got now on the Toon Review. You can support the channel in the usual two ways. First of all, by membership. That's the join button under the three of us. And, of course, the $sign in the live chat, which is for super chats. And that will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening, and good evening to all those out there in Viewerland.
And how are we doing on this fine Sunday evening after a Newcastle victory?
Radiant.
Radiant, eh?
Radiant.
That is outstanding. We'll get into it in just a minute, but what we are going to do is we are going to put the poll up for player of the match immediately. So what we'll do is we'll get the three of us, and because Sam's in the chat still, Sam will be able to put her nomination in for player of the match. Should we let ladies go first then, guys, or what?
Yeah, let her go first.
Sam, yes. Sam, can you put in the chat, please, who your player of the match nomination is? We'll just wait for Sam to respond to that. It won't take her too long. Unless she's having a good think about it, of course. But there is no apparent reason. There's plenty of players I think she could pick from yesterday. Come on, Sam. Dear me. You've only got to type out a name.
Oh, she might have to think about it first.
Well, I mean, there's not much to think about, is there?
There is.
Joe Willock is Sam's.
There we go.
Okay. So Willock in for Lady Sam. Alex.
Oh, I don't like going first or second.
Tough.
You might put a weird one in last.
Well, you're the one that puts the weird ones in.
Right. Well, it's either the goal scorer or the actual man of the match. I'll go for Lewis Hall because he was the actual man of the match. So,
well, it's not your choice, Alex.
Well, no. I mean, they gave it to him from the broadcasting channel. Gave him the man of the match, is what I mean. So I'll put Lewis Hall in.
Okay. You're going to be shocked at mine. Sean Longstaff.
Oh no!
Absolutely, Billy. Who's yours?
Anthony Gordon for me. Thought he was
Gordon,
absolutely unbelievably good.
Okay, so there we go. You have. It is now pinned at the top. You can vote for your player of the match. It's either Joe Willock, Lewis Hall, Sean Longstaff, or Anthony Gordon. Get your votes going in right now. Okay, so Eddie made changes. And there was a lot of mourning at the start of the game. Well, not mourning, but I guess just expectancy that was the team lineup that he was going to put. But it just shows that Eddie obviously sees these guys in training. We were thinking, oh, you know what I mean? It's a little bit dodgy. He's taking a risk. I think it was a risk, but it was a risk that paid off, Billy, because it was a superb performance.
Yeah, very brave selection, I thought. He was opening himself to all sorts of criticism if it didn't work, but it did work, and therefore it's the opposite way around for me. You can give him all the plaudits you like. He deserves them all. Thought it was brilliant selection, and it worked for the balance of the team. Everything would look good. You know, the work rate was fantastic from everybody. So yeah, I think Eddie Howe's done a superb job this week. Since the past few weeks, he's improved game on game, and thought yesterday was the cap of all that. Brilliant.
Alex, do you think would you class that as the best performance so far this season?
Probably not. No, but I feel like there have been games where we've done far more impressive things, sort of on the ball. However, that was a different kind of performance, and it was very good. It was definitely up there, and we got the right result. So yeah, it was very good. It was very impressive.
Well, of course, we're only 4 points off the top four now, I think it is. 3 points off the top four. So, another victory against Forest, and things are looking a lot better, Billy, than they were before the last international break. Suddenly, everything's brightening up on the horizon, shall we say?
Absolutely, because there was kind of looked like there was splits in the dressing room. Looks like you'd lost the dressing room for a certain amount of time. You know, the body language of some of the players wasn't great. Exact opposite. They were all punching the gut for him, busting the gut for him.
Yeah.
Working 100,000,000% just to get up and down that pitch and do things for the club. The turnaround's been absolutely sensational. And now we're playing with a bit of style. Work rate's been great. And the results are coming on the back of that. And hopefully they can continue like that for a long, long time.
Yeah. By the way, the channel has just gifted out 5 Toon Review memberships to you guys as well. So there you go. Hopefully 5 will be appreciative of that and continue their membership once the free month ends. So 5 gifted out from ourselves here at the channel. Dan Robinson, a super chat, says, great game, man of the match, throw a rock. I'm seeing a lot of comments coming in saying, oh, why is Livramento not there? Why is Isak not there? But listen, when a performance, shut up, Alex. When a performance like that happens, right? You've got a selection. And listen, Sean Longstaff has never been close to being a man of the match contender or a player of the match. And I'm pleased to put him in there this week because I thought he was outstanding yesterday. And there were some very, very good individual performances, but we can only pick 4. Simple as that. So, we'll compliment the rest of them, I'm sure, when we come to do the player ratings, of course. So, Darren Borthwick, thank you for signing up the membership. Thank you for your support, matey, and welcome to Members Club. Graham says, I've got 2 Arsenal mates up here in Chile, Jocksland, and they both praised Hall. Just told them we get this every week. Tino and Bruno should also be in a shot for man of the match. We can only pick 4. Steve says, watch the Forest sidewalk, and they are playing well. No easy game. Seacrest Boxer says, the player's performance on the day determines whether Eddie was brave or needed to lose his job. Well, no, I thought it was a brave selection given the players that played really well in midweek.
Nobody said he was going to lose his job. Had we lost all 3 games, I think he'd have been under pressure. But he didn't. He won 2 of them. Yeah. And he come out with flying colours for me.
Now, somebody left a comment on my reaction video last night and said that they were at the game and thought that Willock was just dreadful. He was all over the place. He wasn't in an actual position, couldn't stick to his position. Now, I got the feeling that Joe Willock had basically a free roam, Alex, to go and help out where he needed to.
It wasn't so much a free roll. I think it was depending on whether we'd got the ball and what kind of situation we were in and he was in at the time. He was joining attacks. I think Ginger Polo on Twitter posted something earlier of the average positions, which shows basically us in a 4-2-4 with Willock in between Isak and Joelinton. And there was a lot of that. There was him trying to break the lines. There was him slotting into midfield, and there was him doing some wide cover as well, and Joelinton dropping back with him. It wasn't a free role. It was more of a, you've got 2 or 3 different things you've got to do depending on the situation. And he did it really well. There was a couple of nice breakaways and shots at goal. One of them was at the goalkeeper. The other one, he skied it. He's stretching his legs a bit more, looks pacey. I don't really see how you can watch that match and come to the conclusion that Joe Willock was a problem, because everybody else has basically come up with he was the solution and one of the reasons why we won the game.
Exactly. Yeah, 100% agree with that. Just going back to DK, Longstaff should be nowhere near man of the match. Tonali does everything he does, but far more. I'm sorry, but I don't think, Tonali hasn't set the world on fire. Let's be fair. Right, he's played very well in certain instances, but hasn't quite. Whether that's positional or not, I don't know. He played very well in the Carabao Cup, of course. But Longstaff yesterday, he broke all the players up, Billy. He got stuck in. He made runs forward, and he linked up really well. And dare I say it, we actually looked a better side yesterday with Sean in it.
Yeah, but he's one of them games where everything he did was right. He had the Midas touch. Can't remember him losing the ball much. Great, just nipping in and nicking balls last minute and intercepting things and getting in with getting forward as well, making those little runs, getting us a few corners. Yeah, I thought it was probably his best game for Newcastle for a long, long time. I thought it was outstanding.
Super chat in from Simon Yorkshire. Thank you, Simon. I owe Howe an apology. Not that he heard my scorn following his team selection. After that performance, he made the right calls. Eddie can win for us. a lot of people are commenting as well, Alex, that, yes, similar performance. You were really up for the Man City game, really up for the Arsenal game. Now, when we go to Forest, it's about continuing that against teams that are, not the elite teams in the Premier League, although Forest is sitting, third or fourth at the minute, and having a great season. So it's, that's the thing for us, isn't it? Continuing against, the non-elite teams, if you like.
Well, it's fine doing this against Chelsea and Arsenal, but this is what I mentioned yesterday, to be fair. We now need to learn how to take it, how to give a different kind of performance.
Yeah.
Basically, one that we were unable to deliver against Everton and Brighton. And Forest is another one of those situations. They're going to play like another Everton-Brighton game. That's how it's going to roll. And we need to make sure that we don't get overwhelmed. We concentrate and we're able to create the right chance. Well, we've always been creating the right chances. We've just not been able to finish them. So there is more work to do. We know we've had this in our locker because we've beaten Spurs. We played really well against Man City, got a draw. We've beaten Chelsea. We've beaten Arsenal. We know we can do this. It's the picking the lock in low blocks and not getting frustrated. That's what we've struggled with. And we've not cracked that so far this season. So Forest
how long before Atticus put a comment in, slagging Bruno off? I mean, Jesus, I don't think you even watch the games, to be honest. I think you just put a comment in against Bruno every single week. I just don't understand where you're coming from.
It's about Bruno, which is the issue.
Willock was helping attack and Lewis Hall. Immense performance, as was Joelinton, who could have been a player of the match nominee as well. He was absolutely outstanding. Richard says, Schar needs to find form. He was horrible first half. Passing wise, yes. Defensively, not. I thought he was sound defensively, but his passing was atrocious first half. But he picked that up in second half, didn't he, Billy? Because his passing was exquisite second half.
Yeah, some of his passing first half was shocking. I mean, just lazy, no kind of attitude at all. Really, not even kind of any effort in him. Just
with them stupid floated clearances and stuff.
Dreadful with his distribution first half, but second half everything was like Wednesday night. To be fair, everything was better. The defensive. And I guess it had to be because we were kind of defending most of the second half. So, I thought we had a much better second half, but his first half was dreadful.
Yeah. Graham Sinclair, thank you for your super chat. There's no comment there, but thank you very much, mate. Tangy says Willock was cutting off passing lanes like Longstaff does, but also offered energy, bringing the team forward. Solid performance, I thought. Agent Texas, the thing is, a lot of fans don't understand game plans. Clearly, I mean, Willock, for me, Billy, played his game plan to perfection.
He emptied the tank, didn't he? An hour. It was an hour and a bit of non-stop sprinting. It was the same as Anthony Gordon, actually, on the other side.
Yeah.
Brilliant performance. I mean, he could have had a couple of goals. Defensively, which is something you don't associate with Joe Willock. He was solid. He helped out. He got a little tackle in here and there. Just a really good performance. And if we can keep that level of performance from Willock and keep his fitness, he's a massive asset to us. Yeah,
a lot of people, Alex, put in the comments about Longstaff's fitness that he just seems to have this engine that can go all day.
Yeah. Well, he always does, doesn't he? I mean, I've got to say it at some point. I'm not on this Longstaff bandwagon that everybody seems to be on. I think it was a good performance from him, but I don't think that was the reason we've won that game. I think there are other people that could have done that role. The thing that won the game was the fullbacks being fantastic and the Joelinton, Joe Willock stuff. That was the key, not the Sean. I think people are exaggerating and misunderstanding and maybe overreaching on what that's. It's not as big as maybe people have massively read into this narrative of we're not winning without Longstaff and we're winning with him. That wasn't the key to it all.
But Alex, being a stat man, that's what the stats tell us.
That's
it is
cherry picking stats to fit a narrative.
Oh, come on, dear God, Alex.
We needed an able engine to be disciplined and tackle. I personally think Tonali could have done exactly what Longstaff did yesterday. And that is my opinion.
So why hasn't he? Why hasn't he done it this season then? Why has Tonali not stood out like that and done the job like that?
I'll tell you exactly why. Because we didn't have the fullbacks playing like that, and with Joe Willock and Joelinton, he's added a few extra different things in to solve other problems. Tonali didn't have the luxury of that being a thing. When we've been using Tonali before, we were playing the stupid high line and getting absolutely done by it. That's not on Tonali. We didn't do that with Sean.
The same argument can be said about Longstaff, actually. You know, the fullbacks playing that well with Willock and, you know, Longstaff, I think he's been named in man of the match polls purely because of his history. He's been dreadful for a while. And,
yeah,
you know,
I don't think Sean deserves to be in the man of the match poll personally.
Well, I
think he had
how
a good
you
game.
think, Alex? He was my nomination, and I'm perfectly entitled to put him in.
I'm just trying to give people an alternate opinion. I think everybody deserves to hear an alternate opinion because everybody is just blindly putting out there our Longstaff because reasons and we win with him.
No,
and there is more to
just
it than that.
That's performance, Alex. And there's only a couple of people said
the
that.
Joe Willock and Joelinton rotation was far more important in that game than what Sean did because I think other people could do what Sean did in that match. No, that's not saying that he didn't do a good job because he did.
No matter whether other people can do it or not, Alex, he did it. So, you know, he did
absolutely.
it.
I don't think we should overstate the importance of it. Like, it's...
I think you've been very harsh on him. Keith Truscott, thank you for your super chat. Credit where it's due. Longstaff had a great game yesterday. Samsonite Dove, Longstaff played, but Chelsea and Arsenal. It was Tonali and Bruno that switched roles. Don't know what you mean by that, but George Garrett, thank you for your super chat. We've got Bruno in the middle. Evening, gents. Connor, thank you for being a member for 10 months on the channel. Thank you for your support. Great results and massive improvement all round, but we need to improve away form to be considered for the top 4 to 6 positions. 22-23 away form needs to be replicated. I mean, it's a point, isn't it? I mean, we play very well at home. We play well against the big teams, but it's going to the likes of Forest, Billy, that'll test us to see where we are, I guess, just before the international break.
I think the key to it all is Isak. I mean, if you can get him chances and the form he's in the minute, he'll score goals. And, you know, we didn't have that at Everton when our last away game where we played pretty well. We didn't have that in the home game against Brighton because Isak wasn't up to that standard yet. But now he is, and I think he'll score goals. I think he's in one of them, you know, he's got that form back that we wanted him to get back and looks lethal in front of the goal again. Looks, you know, he looks up for the fight every week, the past couple of weeks. Yeah, so with a striker that's firing on all cylinders, I think it gives us more options.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? I'm seeing comments again saying, "Oh, remember it was Chelsea's second string." I couldn't give a monkey's arse whether it was Chelsea's second string. They had a World Cup with it in their second string. They have multi-million-pound players in their second string. It was a squad rotation because their squad is worth billions, and some massively talented players were still on that pitch for Chelsea.
It's not their second string, though. It's not their second string. Neto was bought in the summer,
to
try and be a first teamer. You know, Enzo was bought as a first teamer. Mudryk was bought as a first teamer. Just because they've fallen out of the first team doesn't mean they're not. It's nonsense to even suggest that.
A lot of them played today against Man United.
Yeah. Ghost in the Suzuki Grass says, poor take from Stato on Longstaff, and he's normally spot on. Harsh to criticise after a performance.
It's not see, this is, I don't want people, again, I think that got maybe lost in translation because I was having to fight for my airtime there. But it's not a criticism of Sean.
Who are you fighting for your airtime with?
Because you weren't happy with the opinion and you didn't want me to get it out there. I'm not. It's not a criticism of Sean. Sean did exactly what he was required to do, and he did it very, very well. So that's fantastic. But I don't think we need to push the narrative that we can only win with Sean in this team and we're only balanced with Sean in this team. I think that's a dangerous presumption. I think we can work without Sean, and Tonali can do that kind of role as well, and give a bit more in other games. It's just dangerous to just go, yeah, we absolutely always need Sean, otherwise there's no balance. Other people can do that.
I haven't said that.
No, I know, but that's what I'm just trying to get out to people. I think because there are certain pages and things that are really pushing this heavily, and it's just paper narrative. You know, we can be smarter than that.
Samsonite says, what do you mean you don't understand it? It's not a Longstaff versus Tonali discussion. It's who starts, Tonali or Bruno, or both. It will always depend on the opposition and if it's home or away. Keith Truscott, thank you for another super chat. No comparison at all between Tonali and Longstaff. Tonali is most definitely the superior player. Why had he never played him? God knows, but it turned out okay. DK35, thank you for yours. Guys, you know what tends to happen when we overhype players, aka Murphy and Longy? Average at best. We don't want to look daft in two crap perfect performances time. Well,
he's a good player. We need him. He's a good squad player. He does exactly that. He is what, it's just when we try and play a really dominant game, Sean, that's not going to work. He's needed. We need to keep him. He's very important, but we need to be open.
No, I agree with you. Yes, those type of games are perfect for Sean to play.
But the Southampton game at the start of the season, he was brilliant in it. Like we need Sean.
You need Tonali to get forward in games that really we should be pressing. Corden, thank you for your super chat. Longstaff works when we have little possession. That's I guess what we're getting at. Tom says, Alex, you're right, but Sean played very well. Atticus is back saying I would give the Sean role to Bruno and play Tonali in the Bruno role.
I don't think Tonali can play as a lone six against really, really good sides. I just don't think he can do it. I think he's going to get robbed more than Bruno gets robbed.
Billy, the goal yesterday, I mean, just fantastic to watch, wasn't it? It was just I guess looking back to a couple of seasons ago, free flowing football. Comes out to Gordon on the right. He puts in an absolute blinder of a cross, and Isak gets between Saliba and Gabriel, and the header is just spot on in the onion bag.
I don't think you're going to see a better cross all season. Serious to God, what first touch as well. It's bent in beautifully. Shaw was involved in the goal, of course. He passed it out to Gordon, so you've got to give him credit for that. Just a great goal, just a really good goal. And despite, one of their players got involved with the header, I think it was Partey who headed it down to Willock, beat Willock in the air, and nodded it to Longstaff.
Yeah,
it was a fantastic goal, and that header, God, a bullet header, one from the 80s. It was like a Garth Crooks type header, brilliant bullet header straight in the net. No keeper saving it. Superb goal.
And the thing is, as well, Billy, it was a first time cross, which we've been itching for them to do all season. Just fire in the crosses as soon as they can, and hopefully someone on the end of it. And
well, there was defend, aren't they? I mean, we saw how kind of square the two Arsenal centre halves were. Isak took a superb position up in between the two, and there wasn't no time for him to get back in the game because Gordon fired it in first time. So Lee was watching it. We were saying his ball watch, but how quick did that ball come in? He didn't even take a touch. Bang straight in, header, goal.
Yeah,
no time to do anything. Brilliant play from Isak, but a brilliant cross from Gordon.
Ian said it was a goal from the. Ian says that Shearer said it was a goal from the 90s. What reminded him? Chris at Evermore says Willock's movement provides Isak with a foil and more space to do what he does best. Eddie has resisted what worked well in the top four season, and Willock needs to stay fit as he's vital now. How do you think Harvey Barnes is thinking about this now, Alex? Because obviously, he came in when Gordon was our left-sided player, and all of a sudden now Willock and Joelinton have just taken that left-hand side as long as they stay fit. How do you think Harvey's looking in on it?
I think he'll be concerned, but we've never been able to count on the fitness of Willock and Joelinton in parts. So he'll get opportunities, especially. We've progressed in the cup. We've got the FA Cup to come after the Christmas period as well in January. So there'll be games for him. But yeah, it's not ideal, the fact that Gordon's now looking better on the right. He wasn't looking as good early doors, but potentially at the start of the season, I don't think he was fully fit either. So that might have been why he's looking a lot more competent, especially with the balance of the side. And Tino's had a nice run of games now and is looking a bit more level-headed. He's not making as many positional mistakes and silly mistakes. But yeah, Barnes, he'll get in the side sometimes because of the way we play. Joelinton and Willock are going to have to be subbed off. There's going to have to be rotation, but I don't think he's going to be a starter for a while.
Which I don't think he'll be happy with. However, it does make the sign a little more puzzling, Billy. You know, I mean, we were all puzzled by it originally, but I guess now, you know, it's going to be hard for Harvey Barnes to push his way back into the Premier League 11.
I've never been not puzzled by the signing, to be honest.
Yeah.
When it was obvious that it was the other side of the pitch we needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've always had Joe Willock, we've always had Joelinton, we've always had Gordon. So there's three that can play on the left. We sold Maxi because we obviously were overloaded there, and then bought someone for the same position. I just didn't get it. Didn't get it at all. So yeah, I think Harvey Barnes will get his chances, but he's got to take them because the last time he played, he didn't take it. And I think we're playing that well at the minute. Don't take your chances. You sit on the bench for a while.
Right. I think there's a key thing that we've not mentioned yet, and it's he scores goals, but he doesn't help the system as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Willock and Joelinton, and when Gordon plays there, are far better in the system and the style and the identity. Barnes doesn't really fit that, even though he's improved pressing wise, stamina wise. Are the goals enough?
I mean, Chippers is saying there Barnes will get his chance, but has he not had his chance? And you know, now Willock and Willock and Big Joe are playing absolutely brilliantly and are combining so well on the left hand side. Joelinton is just a beast. It's as simple as that. And I think to see you get his chance. I mean, his chance isn't exactly, you know, like Alex says, you know, he'll get his chances maybe in the cup and stuff like that. But as we see, I think Eddie's got different plans for the Premier League than he does for in cup games, whether you play well or not. And
you know, goals and been dropped afterwards. So I mean,
yeah,
it works both ways.
He won't have come in as for people saying that it's good rotation to have. I don't think Harvey joined us with that in mind, though.
No,
he joined us as a 25-year-old. I think he got capped once for England. He'd seen what Eddie Howe had done to progress players, and I think he joined us with the kind of the plan that he was going to kick on and be a starter and try and push back into the international setup. And that might not be the case. He might not even be in our first team.
Yeah. Dan Robinson, thank you for another super chat. Has anyone seen the news this morning? Saka is still missing. Apparently, he was last seen inside Hall's pocket. Police are calling for witnesses. I mean, Lewis Hall. I mean, what can you say about this guy, Billy? This kid just, I mean, he has got to be in the next England squad. There is no other left back in England or English left back playing as well as him right now. There's Leif Davis at Ipswich, who's scored, of course, at the weekend, but very, very good player. But Lewis Hall, I mean, he's just class.
The only one that's anywhere near close to him is Mitchell at Palace. He's the only one, and he's nowhere near him. It's Lewis Hall, and he should have been at the European Championships for me. Absolutely. And it's not, you know, it's not kind of Johnny come lately stuff. I've been saying it, and Stato, to be fair, I've been saying this since he played for Chelsea. We watched him twice against us. You can see he was an absolute beast in the making, and he is. He's fulfilling all of that potential, and he's still got a long way to go. So, good Lord, what it's been like when he's 25, 26. Unbelievable.
Stephen says, well, he needs to work harder on fitness and work rate. It's that simple. Knuckle down, Harvey. It's something a lot of people have noticed is his fitness doesn't seem to have a full 90 in him. Wacky says, I bet you lot are really bricking it about playing my boys on their current form.
Nope. What is that? Is that West Ham?
They were dreadful against Forest.
Absolutely dreadful. Oh dear.
I've just bookmarked a load of tactical things about West Ham, specifically ready for that preview show, and that they look. First reading, when I was glancing through, it looks pretty bad reading. You guys are in a bit of an issue.
I'll be amazed if Lopetegui makes it to our game. I'll be amazed.
I mean, do you remember though during the summer we were all saying that what a threat West Ham are going to be this season? They've signed some absolutely fantastic players, and that has got to be down to the manager for the way they're set up and performing. It has to be. They are just dreadful.
We'll get Moyes back and he'll rescue the situation. And then come the end of the season, they want him sacked again when he finishes in 8th or 9th.
Yeah, and I guess this is a lesson, to everybody saying, be careful what you wish for, because you just never know. By the way, great result for the Lasses today as well, beating top of the league Birmingham 2-0 down at St Andrews. I watched the game. I have to say, I don't know where Newcastle United women were after half time. Because they disappeared for 20 minutes. And Birmingham hit the post, they hit the bar. Moan made some brilliant saves. And then suddenly the sort of woke up and went and got a second goal and played out the rest of the game. No idea what was said in that Newcastle dressing room at halftime, but I don't know where they were. However, that's a very good sign of a good team. It doesn't matter whether they hit the post or bar or whatever. It didn't go in the net, and they end up winning 2-0 and continue their charge in the Championship. But more to come on that in the War Lasses show at 8 o'clock on Tuesday with Lady Sam and, of course, former England Lioness Aaron Embleton. Right. I guess we'll go into the player ratings now, guys, because I think we'll be able to talk about each individual performance because there were so many. And I guess we have to pick the players out one by one because that's only right in my opinion. We did so bloody well yesterday. And, there's a lot of players that, already we've said that aren't in the player of the match, reckoning who should be, but we can only pick 4. It may be a little unfair to certain players, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles on the Toon Review. But we will be able to hopefully now give these players the praise that they actually deserved from yesterday. So, Alex, we'll start off with Nick Pope. And guys, remember to get your player ratings in the chat. Do you agree with us? Nick Pope, Alex.
Yeah, difficult one because it was a very strange game for him.
Yeah,
I will go with I'll go with an 8. I'll be nice because we got a clean sheet. He was okay in defensive set pieces. There was a lot for him to try and deal with. He was getting blocked off by Havertz and different people, but largely he was fine. The communication was good. It's easier now that it was a bit more of a compact defensive game. He wasn't having to panic and sweep as much, but kicking was still pretty bad. Time wasting was good at the end as well. He faked an injury to get the physios on, which is always lovely. I don't know why other teams don't do that. It works really well. Yeah, solid. I'll go for an 8. I think he was decent.
I've gone for a 7. Simply his kicking. And I think, the standard he's at as an international goalkeeper, I just don't get the kicking. There was times yesterday, and Billy
Weed the stat for the kicking.
Well, go on, because so many times he kicked the ball out of play.
24 long balls. He made 2.
I mean, that just says it all. I mean, some of them he was just kicking. I mean, he did one at the end of the game, which I shouted at him for, but Billy put me right on that. So, he didn't mind that because it was wasting a few seconds. But sometimes they would just, I don't know what he was doing. But, as for his command in his box, I thought he did very well from the Arsenal set pieces. They were putting him under a lot of pressure. I thought they were fouling him a lot. He got on with it, punched the ball well, caught the ball well. That was fine. And for all Arsenal possession and whatever, they didn't test him. So I've gone for a 7 for that reason.
Although, Paul,
yeah,
Clonlad's got a good point. I think the biggest test he had was when Gordon tried to score past him. I don't know if you remember that. Gordon's back pass that was like,
oh, yes. Yeah. Jesus. Heart in the mouth stuff. Billy Bob.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a shot to save, to be honest. So, it's a lot of pressure from corners and set pieces. He kept a clean sheet, so I think you've got to give him a 7.5 at least. So I'll give him a 7.5. Okay,
Tino Livramento, Billy.
First half outstanding. Beginning the second half a bit shaky, but mainly back to his best. Martinelli just didn't get a sniff off him, really, did he? The whole game, he's had him in his pocket. Then they put Jesus out there. Nothing off from him either. We had a really good game. But there were times where he tried to do too much, winning the ball and trying to beat 3 or 4 players. Defensively, he was outstanding. But again, it's losing the ball. I'm going to give him an 8. Thought it was really good.
Okay. Alex?
I will go with... I'm going to go with a 7.5. Although he was fantastic, he was integral to the win. 7 out of 8 duels, couple of key passes. First half, unplayable. If it was only the first half, I'd give him like a 9. Absolutely. But second half, he fell asleep a couple of times. I told Billy this yesterday. The first note on my pad from the second half is Livramento caught sleeping. Burn, good block. So there's just moments, and then he lost the ball as well. Nobody gave him a man on shout, which you could argue other people need to do, and he got pinched because there were 50,000 fans shouting man on. So yeah, just needs to wake up sometimes.
Absolutely. I've gone for 7.5 as well. I thought very, very good. And certainly, as Billy says, looks like he's getting back to his best, which can only be a fantastic thing for us as a club. Keith Truscott, thank you for your super chat. As a kicker, Pope is shocking, as we all know. But as a shot stopper, I don't think we could get better. Maybe better the devil you know.
Yeah, if we want to win trophies, though, we need somebody who can do both eventually. Not right now, but eventually.
Yeah. Okay, Lewis Hall, simple 10 for me. Undoubtedly, the kid was absolutely incredible yesterday. I love the link-up play that he's got with Joe Willock and Joelinton as well. The three of them down that left-hand side, just awesome to watch. The confidence the kid has, and you can see it growing day by day by day. Just outstanding performance. Billy?
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell his age looking at him play. He's just so mature. You know, he reads the game well. He's in the right place at the right time. Sometimes he gains us the ball without winning the ball, if you like. He'll put in position himself so he knows he's not going to win it, but he'll make sure that the opponent can't win it. Also, all that in his locker. He's 20 years of age, just turned 20. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player, and his ceiling is so high. You know, we were talking about someone that could well be the best left back in the world by the time he's 25, 26 years of age. Absolutely outstanding. Yeah. I'll give him a 9.5 because there was a couple of times when Saka went past him.
Oh.
But I thought he had a really, really good game.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, I agree with everything Billy just said. I can't give him a 10 because there were a lot of crosses that came in, but he's against one of the best wingers in the league. 9.5, again, is a couple of things that haven't been mentioned. Aerial duels, 4 out of 5. He was winning stuff in the air at the back post, things that you need your fullbacks to be able to do. The things that Kieran Trippier does so well. Lewis Hall is starting to do. Clearance off the line, he got that block as well from the corner, getting his body on the line. So technically good with the ball at his feet as well. And I think he's really starting to enjoy his football because in that interview, he just kept saying, I've really improved the defensive side of my game. And and he kept identifying that as something he liked about it. And he looks like he's really enjoying his football. And like Billy said, if he continues as he's doing now for the next 3 or 4 years, the world is his oyster. It's fantastic.
This will put a smile on your face, Alex from Fahim. Alex is right. I watched this show only for Alex's sensible game reading.
Thanks,
Fahim. Fahim's move.
Or like we all don't have different opinions on a game of football, Fahim.
It's his opinion, Paul.
It's a shocking
It's not
thing
sensible, apparently, according to Fahim.
Well, exactly. He's calling you unsensible, Billy.
I'll take that all day of the week.
Jesus. Right, Fabian Schar, Billy.
A tough one to mark because some of the passing first half was absolutely disgraceful. You know, just lazy, lackadaisical, arrogant, maybe too arrogant rather than getting. But I mean, as the game progressed, it got better and better and better. Defensively, I thought he was good throughout. Really, there was a couple of times where he was found a little bit wanting, but I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
A 7. Lots of people saying Fahim is Alex's burner account. I've gone for a 7 as well. Exactly the same reasons. I thought he vastly improved second half. Some of the passing he put in the second half was fantastic. So definitely grew into the game. First half, I just thought, here we go again. These stupid little clearances just hit with no power straight to an Arsenal shirt. But it improved a lot after half time. Stephen says, yes, we all have opinions, Paul, but Alex's opinions are better.
Exactly.
Oh, you just sounded like like King Charles there, didn't he, Billy?
Prince Charles. We're going back in time, are we?
I guess so. But Alex, Fabian Schar.
I'm going to go with a 5. I was not happy with his performance at all. I thought he did one really important block in the first half that has saved his rating for me defensively. But I thought other than that vital block, he was an absolute shambles. Tino was papering over some of Fabian Schar's cracks. He wasn't helping properly, positionally found wanting. I think we could have been a goal down because of Fabian Schar alone just being so lazy. Unnecessary yellow card for just whinging at the referee as well. You're meant to be one of the senior players. I thought the passing was, okay, fine. I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks. I'd rather he just defended properly. We can deal with the long ball stuff once you start defending properly. I think positionally and speed and stuff, it's just in the bin at the moment, his game. If Lascelles was available, I'd want Lascelles in immediately, because I appreciate he gives us the long balls and we need that for the system. But defensively, I'm so worried about where Shar's game is right now. And I'm going to go with the 5.
It's safe to say that Stick Ice does not agree with you, Alex. Long pass to Isak to Longstaff Gordon, cross goal, Schar is set play.
What you mean the sideways pass to Gordon that anybody in the middle, Lewis Miley could have done, Jamie Miley could have done, the littlest Miley could have done that. It was just a sideways pass.
What he is doing is getting stupid yellow cards every game. That's what he is doing. Really stupid yellow cards.
Getting banned soon, so we'll have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Alex, Dan Burn.
Solid. A lot happy with Dan Burn's game. Obviously, we played in a very different way that made it a lot better for Dan Burn. He wasn't having to deal with 30-yard recovery runs and getting the offside trap absolutely bang on. It was a different game for him, and it was better. Yeah. It suited Dan Burn's game. 3 out of 6 duels in the air. Come on, Dan, you're 6'7", mate. We can't be losing half of our aerial duels, but still, he was fine. He was really solid. I think
that's something we just got to get used to, Alex. Despite the size of the bloke, he is gonna.
You're not always gonna.
He's not this man mountain header of the ball that we all hope he would be at that size.
But he was fine yesterday. I'll go with the 7. I thought he was really good.
Billy?
Well, I'll give Schar a 7, so I'm going to give Burn a 7.5 because I thought he was better. I think the game suited him more. They had no pace to really get him behind him. The midfield gave the centre halves lots of cover as well. So yeah, much better. It's got one crucial block from Tino's mistake. Yeah, I think he played pretty well, Burn. Better than of late, so I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I've gone a 7.5 as well for exactly the same reasons. I thought, at times, again, he put some brilliant tackles in, but there was a couple of times Lewis Hall covered for him because he was out of position. But we know what we get with Dan Burn. And he's certainly in better form than his centre-back partner right now, Fabian Schar. Although me and Billy have just voted 0.5 difference between the two, but we'll skip over that right now. Anyway, let's move on to the midfield, and we'll start off with Bruno. Billy.
Just a real captain's performance for me. People ridiculously saying he didn't have leadership abilities and shouldn't be captain. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. This bloke inspires. I thought it was outstanding, defensively wise, getting involved with, as he always does, just a basic Bruno performance.
Yeah,
but against top quality players, and some of his work at the back yesterday was absolutely outstanding. So I'm going to give him a 9.5.
9.5. I have given him a 9 for very much the same reasons, Billy. I thought he was absolutely superb yesterday. And, I've been one of these people that did say that I don't think Bruno should be captain. However, yesterday's performance, he led by example, in my opinion. He was up for it from the word go, and he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I do still get worried when he tries to, dribble his way out of our own penalty area, and then yes, he wins free kicks all the time, but sometimes he doesn't, and it's heart in the mouth stuff. But listen, this is what the guy can do. He's got the confidence to do it. Alex,
I am going to go with 9.5. I'll join Billy. I think he was very close to a perfect performance in that kind of game that we needed. He drew 7 fouls. 7. I think that's the most I've seen him get in a game. They could not get the ball off him. They couldn't handle him. None of them. Attackers, midfielders, couldn't handle him. All game. 10 out of 19 ground duels. He didn't lose a single ball in the air. Completed all of his dribbles. Like you said, led by example. I don't understand how anybody can watch that particular performance and not think Bruno is a good player. I think he's a world-class player when he plays like that. He's absolutely fantastic.
David Smith, who's been a member for 29 months on the channel. Thank you very much for your support, David. Great commentary yesterday, but some of the comments aimed at Burn, Longstaff and Howe before a ball had even been kicked went a little too far, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Look, we were guilty of that as well. I was shocked at the team lineup. I was annoyed at the team lineup, if you like, in a way. But I did say by the time that we finished Match Day Live yesterday that Eddie Howe got it spot on. And I'd rather say that every week than, so what? I kicked off about the team before the game, but Eddie got it right. I'll do that every week if that means us winning.
Can I just point here? Kieran Curtis says, I can specifically remember Billy a few weeks ago saying that Bruno is not playing as well because of the captaincy. I think you have specifically outside of the season, mate. I've never said that.
That was me. And that was me. And I was just generating a conversation with Billy about it. So that was my opinion. To a degree, I still stick by it. But listen, if I see more performances like that and inspiring performances, dragging the team along, I've got no problem with it.
I used to think that, but I dropped that opinion. This was back when he used to just lose his head all the time and constantly get yellow cards and he used to have that little mean streak where there was a little bit of violence in him. And when he went through that period where he couldn't get banned, he completely transformed his game. And since then, now it's more applicable. Now I think it's fine because he managed to cut that out of his game. So it's fine now.
Absolutely. Tangy says fouls leading to yellow cards is way higher for Arsenal. I felt that referee allowed Arsenal off too lightly with little tellings off instead. Oh, absolutely.
Do you see Tonali got a yellow card for the first foul when he first came on? But they'd done, Rice got away with so much all game and Tonali got a yellow for basically his first tackle. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Kieran's apologising there. I knew I could remember the conversation, but evidently not who said it. That's no problem at all, Kieran. What was that? Just bear with me a second.
Sean didn't get booked as well and was quite lucky. I think Sean, don't know how he got away with that.
Well, but the thing was, was it Timber who was it Partey? Twice in 30 seconds, 2 yellow card fouls, and didn't get. He got warned for the second one.
Yeah.
Partey could have been off with a different ref.
Simon says this channel is often passionate and emotional, but always willing to be proven wrong. That is what makes it amazing. Thank you very much, Simon. Yeah, listen. I will always accept when I'm wrong. So will Billy. Alex won't. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I just admitted a situation in which I changed my opinion.
I wind you up. Right, let's move on to Sean. Billy.
I thought I had a really, really good game. Just disciplined. Let me say that. I don't remember him giving the ball away much. Stats, I will have the stats, but I don't remember him giving the ball away at all, really. Just intercepting stuff, getting forward as well. Back to the old Sean Longstaff from a couple of years ago, who we did miss when he wasn't playing. I'll give him a 9.
Okay. Alex?
I'm going to give him
a 4.
I'm going to give him
7.5.
I'm going to give him an 8.5.
Whoa!
I think he was really, really, really solid. Did his job physically. 7 out of 10 ground duels is enormous for Sean. It's a lot more than he normally gets.
Absolutely.
It was definitely an above average Sean performance.
Yeah.
Just kept things ticking over. Naughty little fouls that didn't really get picked up on that probably were fouls. Very good physically. Concentration levels were there. Disciplined. Stayed back when necessary. Just gave us that kind of, and I mentioned this to Billy yesterday, kind of that default Gareth Barry, James Milner, just go and do the right job. Obviously, he's not got the sort of the wand on him that those two had in certain games, but yeah, Sean did the right job for us, and he's an important squad player. But he definitely gave us a better performance yesterday.
Yeah, 9 for me. Best I've seen him play in a long time. And listen, I've hammered Sean. I've absolutely hammered him. A lot of people have hammered Sean. But one thing about this channel is we will, when we do match reviews, we will review it on the game-by-game basis, and he was excellent yesterday. Simple as that. 9 from me.
Can I mention one thing more about Sean?
Yes,
this is to defend him. The fact that he had to come out in a post-match interview and defend himself, saying there are people online saying that he can't play 2-yard passes and stuff like that. I kind of felt sorry for him. Like, people have got to cut that stuff out. Just saying, oh, he's crap, he shouldn't play anymore because he's not as good as a 60 mil player. is ridiculous. You
But
can
one
clearly
thing
see
we've
he's good
always
enough
said,
to be in
Alex,
that
one
team.
thing we've always said, mate, on this channel is that he's definitely good enough to be in the squad as a squad
100%,
player.
100%.
Whether that's starting 11 or doesn't matter. We've hammered him, but we've always said he's good enough as a squad player. And yesterday, for me, just proved that point. So
he's peak age. He'll take manager instructions and he'll go to war for you. It doesn't matter if he can't score free kicks and get loads of assists. We don't need him to do that. We need him to do what he profiles well at, and that is what he did yesterday.
Chris from Evermore says, TTR don't ponder to the crowd, honest opinions and willing to admit when they're wrong, just like us. Too many others false and just go with what they think people want to hear. Well said, matey. It's just like a Toon Review 2 channel as Evermore, because he just loses his rag like me. DK says, Paul, 9, please. What? So I should have given him a 10? Some people, look, the problem is some people, Billy, just don't like Sean Longstaff and just will not admit when he's had a good game.
Well, this is it. We mark each game differently. I mean, Sean Longstaff against Arsenal last season at the Emirates, he got -20. This week he played some fantastically, got 9.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Some people really don't understand how these player of the match polls work. Graham says, how can you give Hall a 10 and Sean a 9, but pick Sean as player of the match? Am I missing something? Lewis Hall is on the player of the match. I can't vote him twice. He's already on the poll. I mean, am I missing something here? We all have to pick a player. So once Lewis Hall is gone, then that's it. I can't pick Lewis Hall. Oh, dear. Anyway, right, let's move on to Joe Willock, Alex.
Joe Willock, nearly back to his best. I think I'll probably go with... I'm going to go with a little bit more than Sean, and I'll go with a 9. There's still things I'd like to see improve from him, but back to his best in terms of acceleration, just getting those nice runs in, linking up well with Isak, got a couple of shots away, did his defensive work quite well as well. I would just like to see him be a little bit more physical. I don't like the shadow tackles.
I think that'll come, Alex. I think that'll come.
Yeah, potentially. 5 out of 10 ground duels, much better. Yeah, I'll go for a 9. He was integral in the way we played yesterday, so he deserves a really, really good rating.
Yeah, I've given him a 9.5, but very much for the same reasons as Alex. I love Joe Willock when he's in free flow like that. He bust his arse yesterday for the time he was on the pitch. Worked really hard. I love the combination on that left hand side with Joelinton and coming back and defending with Lewis Hall. The three of them. I just loved everything about his game yesterday, and long may that continue, because that is the Joe Willock that we all know and love and want to see. You know, earlier on this season, we were saying, you know, is he going to get back to fitness again? Is he going to be the player he was? You know, do we look to sell him in January even? People were suggesting that. But, you know, this is the proper Joe Willock that hopefully we're going to see for a long time. Billy?
Yeah, all the stuff you two have said about his, you know, especially about his pace and his energy and all that, but some of the passing he did yesterday was phenomenal. You know, picking an eye for a pass and having the bravery to do it and then doing it. You know, it's confidence, and I think he's a confidence player. I think the past 2 or 3 games, I think he's looked much better than he has done recently. And hopefully we've got Joe Willock that we want back for a long, sustained period of time, because, as I say, he's a massive asset. I'll give him a 9.5. Thought it was brilliant.
Okay, 9.5 as well. By the way, I mean, there's a lot of comments coming in saying he can only play 65 minutes, though. I think that's just what you get with Joe. I mean, there was... I remember when he first signed, a lot of people said he couldn't play full 90 minutes and things like that. I tend to think that, you know, he's been through hell with injuries, right? Really, really bad injury, that hamstring one. And I just think it's a confidence thing as well. Once he gets properly match fit, I think he can stay on the pitch a lot longer. But it's the kind of game that he played yesterday, which is why he lasted 65 minutes, because he didn't stop running. And sometimes that's what substitutes are for, Alex.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are reading too much into that. Joe Willock's role yesterday was to effectively do 2 or 3 things, perform additional roles. Of course, you're going to get tired a bit early. You know, it's not like back in the day when Ryan Fraser was just running down the wing and gassed by 55 minutes. Willock was doing multiple things. There's an argument to be made that Gordon was just about as done as him. Gordon was blown by sort of 75, 80. And Willock, I think, will get fitter because he will get fitter. If the more he's in the first team, the more minutes he gets, he'll be able to do that for another 10, 15. Definitely. But that's the whole. We've got 5 subs nowadays. It doesn't matter. We've got people like Tonali that can come off the bench. It's fine. We've just got 2 or 3 players that we purposefully make sure they empty the tank to get a really positive hour. It's a tactic. It doesn't mean that Joe's not fit.
Kieran says, anyone else see Arsenal Fan TV yesterday saying that we need to get back in our box as we haven't won any trophy in half a century. This is why I love beating Arsenal. Well, the simple thing is, Kieran, they are bad losers. They cannot take losing gracefully. And we've seen this not just when they lose to Newcastle, but when they lose games in general. They seem to think they have this nap that they have to win, that they can't lose, that Arsenal are just this big side, that they're not allowed to lose games. And when they do, it's never their fault either. It's always somebody else's fault. And they try and palm the blame off on other people rather than look at themselves.
I've seen some videos blaming the ref as well, which is
man, absolutely just ridiculous, man. Ass pieces. DK35, thank you for your super chat. Did you guys see Matty interview on AFTV about Isak defended our club? Yeah, it was a great one. He really stuck it up, to be honest. Graham Sinclair, Paul, any transfer shows coming up? We will have a few during international break, definitely, just to keep the shows coming in. So we'll be looking at various different positions during that. But Alex, there's a guest coming on tomorrow night's show.
There is indeed, yeah. So it's not quite a transfer show. It's almost is in a way. So we have Luca, who's coming on from Georgian football, who's a big Georgian football fan who went to the Euros and watched all the games, to come and give us a bit of his opinion on Salia and Vakhtang Salia, the new Georgian kid that we've just signed. And we'll be going through a few of the other players that are out on loan and that we haven't got yet. Pivas, how he's getting on. And then how's Jamie Miley doing, and Joe White, and even Jamal Lewis, he's off in Sao Paulo in Brazil. So we'll go and have a look at some fun stuff because we haven't checked in on those players for a long time. So
absolutely. Right. Moving on to Joelinton. I just thought he was magnificent yesterday. Absolutely magnificent. And I probably would have put him in for player of the match vote had it not been for Sean playing well. And I felt that Sean deserves to be on that poll this week. But Joelinton for me was a 10. Just a beast. The man is a beast. He's a beast in a human outfit. He really is. He's just, and I love the firing up of the crowd at the Leazer's end. And he just doesn't give a shit, right? He goes in. And I thought, some of his tackles were on the risky side yesterday, but that's what we want from Joelinton. Playing on the edge like that, that's the player he is. And he was so good yesterday. So it's a 10 from Len. Alex?
I'm going to give him a 9, but yeah, it was absolutely fantastic from him. He was a warrior. He only misplaced 1 pass all game. His duel rate wasn't fantastic, 3 out of 10 duels with 4 fouls. But I think that was just what he was trying to do. He was the guy just getting involved and just completely breaking up play, whether it was legally or illegally. He was just like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just going to disrupt all of this, whether we win it or not. And that was the game plan. And he did brilliantly. His wide cover was fantastic. The link-up play with Joe Willock was fantastic. The winning the balls, the long balls in the air was fantastic. The shot that Joe Willock got came off of a Joelinton key pass as well. He spun and played a perfectly weighted pass through to Joe Willock to run onto. Just lovely. That's what we want Joelinton to do. These kinds of games are brilliant for Joelinton, to have a destroyer in your team. And he's back to his best as a destroyer. He might not work in every match, but playing him as a left wing as well and giving him a bit more flexibility, suits his game a lot.
Tom, I know what you mean saying Joelinton does care. What I meant was he doesn't care about who the opposition is. He just plays the same way. He doesn't give a shit who the players are against, whether they're world-class internationals or what. He does his job. Billy?
All what you said, both of you. I agree with all of it. I just want to add that last Sunday he ran his nuts off for 70 odd 80 minutes. Came off the pitch, absolutely cream crackered. Wednesday did exactly the same. And 3 days later, exactly the same again. The guy's fitness reserves are unbelievable. Serious to God.
Yeah.
What an engine that kid got. Unbelievable. So I'll give him a 9.5. I thought it was brilliant.
A 9.5. Okay. Right. Let's move on to Anthony Gordon, Billy.
Well, he's a 10 for me. I mean, he sprinted 5 marathons yesterday, non-stop, up and down that right flank, defensively, helping out. Superb in defence as well, winning the ball to our penalty area. And then, of course, you've got the assist for the goal. A threat at all times. Just a phenomenal performance. Really, really good. If I could give him more than 10, I would, but he's the most obvious 10 I'll ever give.
Yeah, 10 for me as well. Exactly the same reasons as Billy. Just, Gordon, people saying, he can't play on the right. Yes, he can play on the right. Thank you very much with a bunch of cream crackers. 10 for Len. Alex.
Yeah, why not? I'll join you. I'll go with the 10. Yeah, he absolutely can play on the right. I think a lot of the performances early on in the season, he wasn't up to full fitness, and that was maybe diluting what we were seeing. He clearly can. The work rate, the defensive work rate was just alien. The energy, the pace, the cross, the physicality as well. 4 out of 6 ground duels. And like Billy said, picking it up in our area. I think the only thing maybe that he doesn't deserve a 10 for is, again, that ridiculous back pass to Nick Pope. I don't know what that was. Everybody's kind of swept it under the rug, but I'm sure Eddie will be going, don't do that again, Anthony, please. That was ridiculous, because it was ridiculous. But yeah, he can have a 10. It was a great performance, and it was a proper, as Alan Shearer said, a cross from the 90s. It was a nice classic. Nice to see an early cross.
A lot of people, Alex, have mentioned that cross looked like Gillespie's to a spree against Barcelona.
Yeah,
it was
Billy
very,
mentioned
very
that as well.
Yeah. Right, Isak, Alex.
Much better. Again, 2 games on the trot. I think changing systems, having different players around him is helping. The Joelinton Willock stuff helps Isak. So this is why, for people who were confused why we weren't super complimentary about Barnes earlier, this is why. It's playing those guys instead means Isak's not as isolated. He's getting involved left and right. He's able to receive it a bit deeper and drive. He's arriving late in the box properly. Well, early in the box as he was for that header. Yeah, really, really good showing from him. He ran his socks off. I do think I don't quite know why Eddie's not bringing him off when he's absolutely done, though. I think it's unnecessary. I feel like 85 minutes. Osula has proven his worth. Bring William Osula on just to run around like a chicken for 15 minutes, because Isak has got to that point now where after a bit, because he's working his socks off, which is great, but there's no point in having on the 85th minute Alexander Isak just wandering around. There's no point.
Yeah. Make
the sub. I'm so confused by it.
You're going to give him a score?
No. He's going to get... I mean, he scored. So I'll go with... Oh, I don't know. We've rated people so highly today. I don't really know what to rate Isak. I'm going to go with a 9. But really, really good. Physically better, bringing people into the game, and scored a goal. That's 2 games in the last 2. Really, really important for a striker. So, yeah, gets a 9.
I've gone with an 8 for same reasons. I mean, he's improving. He's definitely improving. I think the way we play, certainly with the guys on the pitch yesterday, the link up better with him. He looked hungry for the ball. He scored that fantastic goal. And look, this could be, hopefully, this is Alexander Isak now, confident that he's going to get the ball in good positions and be able to score goals. His finish against Chelsea was excellent. His finish against Arsenal was fantastic. I'm
confused by that.
I've just seen it. Stick
That's
ice.
why we were giggling.
Go and stick your face in the oven and melt, will you? Teaser.
I'm really curious. Just for the benefit of the doubt, Stick Ice, could you explain what you didn't agree with and why we're wrong? Because I'm really curious. I'm not quite sure what you don't agree with there. So please explain it. And it may be an interesting comment, but we'll...
and I don't watch Baywatch, thank you very much. Stupid comment again. You not B-Watch. What's B-Watch? Get your spelling right. And also, tell us why. Jesus Christ. Honestly, some people... You're quite good at shouting us down, but you haven't got an explanation as to why you're shouting us down. Billy, I think you've been rumbled. A lot of people commenting that maybe you're growing your beard to be Father Christmas at Eldon Square.
I don't think they have them kind of things these days, do they? I think they've kind of been a bit pushed to the back after certain events have happened in the past 15 years or so.
Let's move on.
Now then.
Billy, give Isak a go. Mark, will you, please?
Yeah, I'll give him a 9. What I like about Isak's stuff is, he started to do the control, the confidence stuff, beating players and tight control, little foot rolls here and there, which we didn't see for a while. We've seen it, he's floated out to the right wing. Yes, they did it a couple of times. So yeah, there's confidence player and he's scoring goals, and I think he's going to go on a run now. I really do. So I'll give him a 9.
Right, substitutes. Who were they and when?
They were Tonali for Willock on the 65th minute, and then the rest were quite late. So Barnes for Gordon, 85th, and then Lloyd Kelly for Bruno, 90th.
I will not bother with them then. Just Tonali tonight then. Billy.
One fantastic little run, wasn't that? Where he then just come on the pitch actually, and a little bit of acceleration, took him past 3 Arsenal players.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tightened things up. I thought I'll give it a 7. He wasn't long enough to really influence the game, but what he did was pretty good.
Alex?
I'll give him an 8. I thought he came on to basically not lose the ball, be defensively sound, concentrate, and I think he did all of the above. I think his clearances were really, really solid. The moment that Billy mentioned where he took on 3 Arsenal players, they had to bring him down because he was gone. They couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
5 out of 5 passes as well when he was trying to knit things together. Put back on set pieces as well. Yeah, he did exactly what the instructions was, and there was a lot of Eddie giving him a lot of instructions before he came on from the bench, even quite a long time before he came on. Because if he came on the 65th minute, I mean, it was, when did I write this down? So I've written 53rd minute down. Eddie was giving instructions to Sandro on the bench, and he didn't come on for another 12 minutes. So Eddie was clearly walking through a lot of things for Sandro, and he came on and again, very, very good positionally. I think that's what we need. We need Sandro to be able to do what Sean does so well, plus a bit more. I think he's working on these kinds of things, so it's positive.
Right. I've gone bang in the middle of you two at 7.5. So I think we're all agreed on that one. Eddie Howe, 10 from Len. Simple as that. Criticised him for his team selection and how very wrong I was, and I'm delighted to be wrong about it. I thought he was brave. He went with, he clearly had a plan worked out against Arsenal. The players went on the pitch and carried out that plan, which says to me they're all singing from the same hymn sheet again, which is lovely to see. I just thought you got everything about yesterday spot on. Alex?
I'm going to go with a 9.5.
Okay.
And this is mainly, again, I'm not a football manager. I'm not a professional by any means. So this is purely because I don't understand. And if somebody could explain it to me, please do. The only reason he doesn't get a 10 is because I don't understand why Isak stays on the pitch when he can't run anymore. He's so tired, he can't even get back on side. I don't see the point. I really don't. We had spare subs. We could have brought on Kelly and Ursula at the same time. So that is the only thing that I just don't get. But everything else, tactically, spot on. He basically reduced all the space between the midfield. He dropped the line a little bit, stopped it so Dan Burn wasn't having those issues. The Joe Willock, Joelinton stuff, how he's helped progress Tino and Hall. He's brought them on a lot with his own coaching, managing to get something out of Gordon on the right. Just everything. Everything was so good. He completely nullified everything Arsenal did. So and obviously did a lot of work in defensive set pieces because they're a threat from it massively. So
our chat seems to have turned into the lyrics from Baywatch. Incidentally, though, stick ice up your ass hasn't bothered coming back to us. So yeah.
Funny that.
Billy, Eddie Howe?
Yeah, I mean, let's go back a week and people were kind of saying, we were saying that you've got 3 games really. If he was to lose all 3, he could be in serious trouble.
Well, Billy, can I just interrupt you there and tell you what Eddie Howe scored from us against, a week ago?
The Chelsea loss.
The Chelsea loss. You gave him a 2, Billy. Alex gave him a 1. Sam gave him a 2, and I gave him a 3.
Amazing.
And look at the difference since a week makes. What a difference a week makes.
I think our opinion then was, after that Chelsea loss, I think we all said if he loses the cup game against Chelsea, the Arsenal game, and we lose to Forest, if he loses all three, it's the beginning of the end. And I stand by that. I think it would have been the beginning of the end for him as a manager if he'd have lost all three. And he's obviously won 2 in a row at the 2 most difficult fixtures, you could argue. And now I think that's it. I think he's saved himself now. I think he's got till the end of the season, unless the season absolutely falls off a cliff. I think he's all right.
He's pulled it out the bag. Billy.
But yeah, as I say, he's the past 2 games, some of the stuff we've played has been outstanding. And we thought maybe he'd lost the dressing room. He definitely hasn't, but they're all fighting in there with him. Mm-hmm. So for that, you've got to give him credit. I agree with Alex. I wouldn't give him a 10 for yesterday because of the Isak thing. And he's been doing that for a long, long time. He did it in Paris last year, didn't he? We left a player on the pitch who couldn't hardly walk. Couldn't even limp properly, let alone walk. So, I'm going to give him a 9.5.
Is there really a proper way to limp, Billy?
Well, if you can't kind of limp, if you're struggling to limp, you're in trouble, aren't you? And he was struggling to limp.
If you can't limp properly, you're in trouble.
Baz Down Under saying Craig Hope said Eddie's position was never in doubt. It would have been if he continued to lose. Because we would have been down in if we'd have been down in the relegation zone, if we'd have lost the Forest game, the Arsenal game, and that Chelsea game, we'd have been out the cup and we'd have been down still on 12 points.
I mean, we could be down where Man United are, it's terrible.
we'd have been, that would have taken us 12 points from 11 games, which is only just above sort of relegation survival form. So no, and our comment was the beginning of the end, not the end. So if it had continued in that way, it would have been the end eventually.
Absolutely. Right. Let's go to the viewers' player of the match and see who has won that. I don't know yet because I've come out of the chat because I'm an idiot and pressed the back button. And now I need to wait to load it. Right, there we go. Okay, right. Who do you think won it, guys?
It could be any of them. Let's be honest. They all
Lewis
deserve
Hall, maybe.
It is Lewis Hall by an absolute landslide. Over 1,000 votes. I think this is the most votes we've ever had on a player of the match. Over 1,000 votes. Lewis Hall on 68%.
Good lad.
But can I just say, who finished second?
Sean
Longstaff on 14%. Then came Anthony Gordon on 9% and Joseph Willock on 8%.
Jesus. How can 140 people be wrong? That's a lot.
You're such a twat, Alex. You really are. Honestly. Blenchy, I know it's man of the match, but I have to be, it
PC.
has to be PC these days. Just because people do still shout you down, even if you say man of the match. I don't understand it, me.
Can I just start? Who did we give the previous ones to? I mean, Pab's got a good point. Is that his? How many man of the matches have we given him on this channel recently?
I have no idea, Alex, off the top of my head. I really don't know. Quite a few.
Yeah, he's doing very, very well.
Maybe we should have counted that up, I might
We
go
can
back
go
and have a look and see who got man of the matches. It's easy done. Well, there you go, folks. That is the end of the weekend and the end of the match review. Thank you very, very much for watching. It's been a cracking show, as per usual. It always...
Yes, that one.
Atticus, Atticus talking out of his anus.
It has a sense of humor, at least.
Yeah, he does have a sense of humor. Yes, top man. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, including Stick Ice. I hope that little block of ice isn't melting too bad in your arsehole right now. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching, guys. Thank you for your super chats and memberships. And, of course, thank you, Mods. You've been brilliant again tonight. And, of course, to Billy and Alex. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. There'll probably be new shows as well during the week, so keep your eye on for them. They may be live. They may not be, but they may be. Keep you on tenterhooks. But a cracking guest coming on tomorrow night, so make sure you're with us at 7 o'clock for that one. But in the meantime, have a cracking rest of your Sunday evening, folks. It is always a better Sunday when Newcastle United win. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Ooh, Stick Ice and Daddy too, and your mommy.
Come back and check out